Hey everybody, I am Soph. This bobblehead is Rich and we are across the pond. Still just me, and it'll be just me for a few weeks. The funny thing is, like when we first started the show, I was always so nervous, right? Even now, like if Rich was here, I'd be so nervous before pressing the button. But as soon as I press the button and we get talking, that's it, he's gone. Just me here, my nerves are heightened like nobody's business. And funny enough, a few people said on last week's show, or they could see straight away that I was so nervous, and I couldn't even hide it. Like I'm always one of those people that say, as you know, say what I think. And it's not that I don't care, but I'd rather say what I think. The harsh truth is better than an ugly lie, right? But for sure, if my mouth don't say it, my face will. I can't hide that. And even like watching now, I'm like, where do I even look? I look like I'm not looking at you guys in the eye, but I am. But it doesn't come across like that. But anyway, guys, cheers. We've made it to another week. Firstly, I've got to say, happy Mother's Day. It is Mother's Day across the pond in the US. So happy Mother's Day to my mum. Happy Mother's Day to all the mums across the pond. I hope you've had a fabulous day. And I have actually got something to share with you. Hold on one second. Not that I'm not prepared, but okay. I hope everyone can hear this. Hold on. Oh no, it's ballsed up. Let's try again. That's my fault. Here we go.
Happy Mother's Day, Soph. And to the fans out there, if you're a mother out there, happy Mother's Day. I just want to say thank you for all the support. I'm doing a little better, not 100%, but I'll be back before you know it. So show my co-host, Soph, my partner in crime, some love and support. Everybody have her back. We'll be back together sooner than you know. So this is Rich from across the pond. Yupper.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. As you can see, like even on my own, I'm all fingers and thumbs. So, but yes, he did want to send a message out today because obviously it's Mother's Day. So yeah, thank you, Rich. We miss you. Hurry back. Yeah, so also last week was the first show I did solo. So it was a bit of trial and error, really. So when I had the Wednesday meeting, still have our Wednesday meeting, and even though Rich is only here as a bobblehead, he is still involved 100% in the show, still have our Wednesday meetings. I need to apologize because I posted a movie review in the week that Rich was in. It was pre-recorded from a few weeks ago, but I never said that at the beginning. So everyone was inundating us or the show and Rich with messages like, oh my God, I'm so pleased you're well, you're back, blah, blah, blah. He's not back yet. I should have put that it was pre-recorded. I just realized that although I've shared them to the radio station, I hadn't actually shared them to the show or to our gram. So my fault. Yeah, that was pre-recorded and I should have said that, sorry. It's half-heartedly put me off putting any more on, but I will because, well, you guys need to know just like everyone else. So yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, so last week's show was a bit like trial and error, just me on my own. And I thought about it and I thought, well, there's no reason why Rich can't at least let me know what the news headlines are across the pond, and I can share them with you. So I'm going to try my best to get the news headlines that have stuck out there. And this week, the main one that was across the pond, courtesy of Richalicious, was Bill Gates and his wife have split up after 27 years. Now, there is a lot of theories around this breakup. One is it is due to him taking his ex-girlfriend on a holiday and leaving his wife at home. If that is correct, then more power to the wife, because who in their right mind is going to sit back and allow their husband to take an ex-girlfriend on holiday while they stay at home? No, thank you. I don't care how much money you got. But you know me, here it comes controversial. But I did also hear that she had put out a statement, the wife, this is Melinda, she'd put out a statement telling wealthy nations to stop hoarding the vaccine. Now, as far as I know, Bill Gates had a hand in the vaccine, you know, with his billions of pounds. So it is a little bit coincidental that they would get divorced after she's put this thing out there about countries hoarding the vaccine. I'm not saying anything. I'm just sharing what I know or what I've heard. You, my loves, make up your own mind about that. I'm just saying how I feel about the vaccine and the COVID and all that. So yeah, who knows? Meghan Markle's had a book out. She bought a children's book out. Good for her, I say. The papers were on it that she'd had a £500,000 advance on the book. Well, if you can get it, take it. But there is also people saying that if you read it, she's actually copied a version of a previous book. I mean, regardless of whatever the book's about, she's got haters and they were going to hate her anyway. So I say good on you, girl. I also have been writing some of my book this week, which I can tell you is not a copy, original from the OG. Yeah, hopefully that will be out soon. It won't take too much longer, but it definitely is not a kid's book. Let's just get that out there. It is definitely not a kid's book. What else has been happening? Sorry if I keep looking around. I've got me across the pond notepad. All my point. I mean, both shows normally go on one page. You can see I'm doubling up for one show. This is a lot to get through, man. So just bear with. Voting. There was voting in the UK this week. It was local elections, not the whole country elections, if that makes sense. So it weren't for the Prime Minister, which is a damn shame because I thought we could get him out. No, it wanted to get Bojo out. It was just your local area. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, managed to hold on to his seat, and so did Andy Burnham managed to hold on to his seat. He is the Mayor of Greater Manchester. Apparently those two have done so much good work that they've been kept in. Get in. Who knew? Going back to the royals, I'm just jumping all over the gaffy. I should have said this bit after Meghan Markle, but apparently William and Kate have got a YouTube show out now. I haven't watched it, not gonna lie. I'm not really sure what they'd have to say, but yeah, I think that maybe, I don't know, who knows, they're trying to get the press on their side after the whole Harry and Meghan thing. Who knows? Give it a watch if you fancy. William and Kate. I mean, it looks a bit cheesy to me. I will watch it just to report back, actually. Let's get the pen out. I'm going to watch a bit of William and Kate to see what it's about. Get in. Also, there was a test. Here I go jumping backwards and forwards here. Should have lumped it together because this is about Corona. Liverpool last week, they did a test where I think it was 6,000 people were invited to a nightclub to test out. There was no social distancing, no additional rules. You just went like you normally would do before COVID. And then they were going to test everyone before and after, you know, like a big experiment. Personally, I found it a bit odd. You're going to invite 6,000 people to a nightclub to spend the night, where potentially however many have got COVID, even though you've been trying to get people to isolate during lockdown, but I still can't go to my mum's house and go inside. Weird. Still waiting for the results on that. Who knows? No doubt that is what will have caused another outbreak, and so we'll go on to another lockdown. Who knows? It's all very bizarre. What else is in the news? Watched the fight last night. Good old boxing match. Saunders and Canelo. Oh my god, I probably said his name wrong. Anyway, we stopped on the 8th round. UK Saunders versus Mexico. Mexico won. Fight was called to a halt on the 8th round because he punched him in the eye so badly that he couldn't see. So his corner chucked in the towel. Now, I will say, it was on an American channel, so I couldn't actually watch it. There wasn't even any streaming, like backhander streaming. So I just watched clips on the news this morning, YouTube. Good old YouTube. Watched the clips on YouTube and on the news. Matey's eye, okay. It wasn't him, it was his corner that cut the fight. But Matey's eye, oh, all right. I'm not him, so I don't know if he could or couldn't see out of it. It didn't look as bad. I've seen much worse. Like, it was like, but like I've seen somewhere they're literally like big eggs, purple eggs, like they look painful. But yeah, Matey's corner chucked in the towel at round 8. Mexico won. But his next opponent, apparently, the Mexican that won, trying to keep all of his titles, is actually from Tennessee, US of A. He wants to fight Caleb Plant. Now, that looks like it will be a good fight. Hopefully, it won't be just on the US channel that nobody else, any other part of the world can watch, because I want to see it. So, yeah. Also, oh my goodness, I'm like literally trolling through my list. I shared it on, sorry, Rich. We shared it on our social platforms. Richard's eldest son, Richard Payne Jr., was actually in a short film. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. Oh my goodness, I should have said what it was called. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm all fingers and thumbs, man. I don't like this being on your own. You've got too much responsibility, too much to think about. Okay, so the film is called On Gang, a short drama film. I've shared it on our socials, like I say. I think it's about 20 odd minutes long, and his son is in the first 10 minutes. He's got 2 parts, not just one, 2. So yes, congrats, Richard Payne Jr. Give it a watch. We like supporting young people coming up in the biz, especially obviously family, goes without saying. So yeah, let's support a mini Rich and watch his film on YouTube. Right, so it's just one show a week with me, and we was going to have a different guest on each week. Last week we had the lovely Ro. Loved having a catch up, chat, giggle, talking about food, fashion. And this week, oh, sorry, I look an absolute mess. This week was set to have Jenny Marr, who runs Mindful Health, integrated counselling and coaching website business, was going to come on and talk about mindful health. Unfortunately, she had to pull out this morning. No. So actually, it's just me for the whole show. Not really sure how this is going to work out or how I feel about it, to be honest, but we're just going to go in. Normally, I would say when we talk about what's happened during the week, I would tell you what's happened in my week, blah, blah, blah. Nothing extraordinary, by the way, so I'm not going to bore you with that usual work, home, life, But if I look tired, I am. My son, Alfie, decided to wake up at about 1:30 this morning and maybe he drifted in and out of sleep, I don't know, but I didn't. And then he was up from like 4. So even with makeup, these bags are real, but I'm here flying the flags, not flag, flags for the show. It's got to go on. It's got to go on. And that ain't alcohol in there, by the way, as much as I need it. It's Vimto, berry juice drink, because I'm hard. So what I've decided to do in my loneliness is just talk about, mindful health, because that's what we would have talked about anyway. Not really sure I'm going to squeeze 45 minutes of mindful health talking to myself, but let's give it a go-karting. And just let me get this out there first, actually, before I make any statements or say anything. It's just my opinion. So I'm sorry if I get anything wrong. I'm not going to give any medical advice because I can't. Please feel free to comment if you know anything, or if I've got anything wrong under the show on the socials, message me, whatever. I'm going to say sorry now if anything's wrong. If not, let's get into it. So, mindful health. When I spoke to somebody earlier, I thought, let me ask somebody else's opinion. If I was to say to you, mindful health, what does that mean? And their answer was, well, there was different parts to it, really. But the main one was learning about yourself, learning how to love yourself, your mindset, what path you choose to take during life. And I know I have to agree, I'm not going to lie. A lot of it is to do with your mindset, like everybody in life has choices. Every morning when you wake up is a blessing and you get a choice. I know people always say, oh, I'm having a bad day. Oh, God, I already feel like I'm going to upset somebody. Sometimes I do feel like you have a choice whether you have a good day or a bad day. Like, sometimes if you have a bad day, it's almost like a knock-on effect. If you get up late, you're already in a bad mood, then you'll probably spill your coffee, then you'll lock your keys out of the house, then you'll do this. Then it's like a knock-on effect, because in your mind, you've already told yourself, Shiza, this is a bad day, or Shiznit, this is going to be a bad day. Whereas if you kind of just stopped for a second, breathed, and was like, right, I got up late, it is what it is, this is what I need to do, and just got on and did it, then the day tends to turn around and look up for the better. So I do think a lot of it is mindset. And like I said, everyone has choices every day. Everyone has bad days, don't get it twisted. I have a lot. Everyone has bad days, everyone gets upset, even if they don't show it, like sometimes the happiest people on the outside have got the biggest burdens and pain on the inside. They just choose not to show it or share it. A lot of famous people, really. I mean, look at Robin Williams, he had depression. You would never have known that. I actually know somebody who last year committed suicide, and knowing him and how he was always happy-go-lucky, always laughing, joking, smiling, had a beautiful family. So that really took the wind out my sails, because I would never have expected it of him. But I think sometimes people put on a show to make people think they're all right, and they're probably the people that you need to worry about the most, not worry about, but check up on really the most. I'm assuming lockdown would have had a massive impact on people's mental health, which is annoying really that it hasn't been talked about in as much depth as it should have done. And that's what I wanted to ask Jenny, really, you know, like, has she seen an influx, if you like, of clients or people contacting her regarding their mental health and stuff since coming out of, well, we're not fully out of it yet, but, you know, the whole lockdown? Because, man, I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it drove me stir crazy being here on my own. You know, it's not nice. This is the annoying bit. Rich would fill in the gaps when I was having a drink, you see, but now it's just silent. You've got to watch me have a drink. Sorry. Also, one of the other points is you're never too old to ask for help. Like, it takes, I personally think, it takes a strong person to ask for help. And I'm not saying you're weak if you don't, but it takes a lot of courage to admit that you need help. You can't do something by your own on your own. Or, sounds weird, but analogy, like you're drowning. You know, like, I personally think, how I look at it is, this is a sink or swim world, right? It's dog eat dog, survival of the fittest. It's a sink or swim world. I personally don't ever intend on sinking, although I've come close before, to the point where 2 years ago, I was just, funny enough, I was on Instagram. People moan about social media, but it does have a really, it does do some good. If it's used correctly, it does some good. Anyway, I was on the gram having a flick, and I saw this guy, Mason, funnily enough, who we had on the show a few weeks, maybe a month or so ago. And he is a life coach. And I say to him all the time, I swear to God, he saved my life. Not literally, you know, like, I wasn't in any way like having suicidal thoughts and thought I didn't want to be here anymore, but I was at rock bottom for one thing or another. I'm still fidgeting. One reason or another, like personal reasons. I literally got to the point where I had enough. I wasn't sleeping. I was stressed, overthinking, like everything. And I remember, like, I've never really liked being on my own, but I remember saying to my mum, I need to go away. You know, like, I just need to go away, even if it's for a few days on my own. I never thought I'd say that. I said to her, no, you're going to say, what's the point in going away? Because when you come back, your problems will still be here. At that point, the only way I could describe it was my brain felt like scrambled egg. Nothing made sense. The more I tried to focus on one thing, I then thought about another and another, and I couldn't focus or concentrate on anything, you know. Like I say, I wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating properly, even though you wouldn't think it to look at me. I've never felt like that before, and I just wanted to run away, you know. So Alfie went to his dad's, and I ended up, actually, I didn't go away on my own in the end. I went away with my friend Fiona because she'd just had a little operation. So she was like, look, I know you want to go by yourself, but do you mind if I come? And I was like, no, fine. So we went to Spain, Alicante, for went Saturday to Tuesday. So yeah, like 3 nights. Honest to God, it was literally just what I needed. I took a book, and the first night we got there, like, literally the balcony of our hotel room, which was amazing, it was like an apartment, the sea, I could spit out the balcony and it would land in the sea. And I remember we just sat on the balcony in our pajamas with I would say with a coffee, but I think maybe we had alcohol. We'll say coffee, but never said anything. We just sat there listening to the sea in the dark. Oh God, it was so good, so good. Like, I just sat there and breathed. And I just felt like a massive weight was lifted off my shoulders. Obviously, the next day we went to the beach, had a look around, and then at the corner of the hotel, some rocks went into the sea. And I would say scrambled, but I walked carefully all the way along right to the end. And I sat there by myself. This is during the day. The sun was blazing, squad had my shorts and vest on. And I just sat on the edge of the rock. I don't even know how long I was there, maybe 10, 20 minutes. Just sat there and did not say a word, just breathed, listened to the sea, took in the scenery. And in that moment, I thought to myself, come on, girl, you are not going to allow this situation to drag you down. You've been in shitty situations before. Obviously, everyone's different, but this ain't happening. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to channel my inner Xena princess warrior and just suck it up and get on with it. And honestly, it was like a turning point for me. I came home, my mind was clear. I think maybe I learned to love myself a little bit on that breakaway. And I think it was because I'd had the courage, if you like, to realize I needed to get away. And I actually did it for myself. But when I came back, I did contact Mason and we worked together for a while. Worked on my mindset, worked on like how my thought process is, how I can change that to deal with like daily stuff, to deal with anything that might come up and throw a spanner in the works. You know, we set goals, we had target. When we say we, obviously are me. And yeah, when I came back and my mind was clear, he just helped me to put a focus back on me and on my life. And it was one of the best things I've ever done. I'm not saying I couldn't have got there or be where I am today if it wasn't for Mason, but he definitely helped speed up the process. Getting away was the thing for me, to clear your mind. And funny enough, like I've had conversations with Rich previously, like he's shared that his job is very stressful sometimes. And we'll be talking and I can tell he's getting irate, agitated or whatever. And I say to him all the time, just breathe, just stop, don't say nothing, just take 5 deep breaths. And if you do that, it just calms your mind, calms down the noise and allows you to focus back again on, you know, the situation you had. I ain't saying it's going to work for everyone. I'm saying it's a miracle cure, but meditation is a big thing. I never done it before I met Mason, and you know, I'm not going to lie, I haven't done it for a couple of weeks. Sorry. But if I find myself getting stressed, if I'm in the car, if I'm out in the shop, on a phone call, whatever, if I find myself getting stressed, agitated or whatever, I just say to yourself, come on now, breathe, you know, a couple of deep breaths and you're back in the room, back to focusing, back to where you are. It's something so simple. Sometimes your mind is so clouded, you forget about something so simple as breathing. It's bizarre. And it's not until somebody else points it out that you do it. So yeah, breathing is a big thing. Totally swerved left there and I've totally gone off track, but let's bring it back. Yeah, so there are loads of, I don't want to say loads, there are people and charities and companies that help or are specifically, sorry, I can't say that word, particularly there to help people with their mental health, with their mindset. Mason's one of them. There's another group called the Fight It brand, which I didn't know about till recently, but I think is very good. It's all about mind repositioning. So again, obviously your mindset, how you think, how you see things, how you deal with things. But their slogan is calm, CALM, right? And it actually stands for Campaign Against Living Miserably. And I'm like, whoa, how good is that? So they basically, from what I can read into them and what I have looked up on, they help people, like if you're trapped in okay, you might feel trapped in a situation, be that a marriage, a relationship, even just, I don't know, single, you're living miserably at home. They help you deal with that, you know, like I said, deal with your mindset, repositioning your mind. So I will share their stuff in the post. I'll share Mason's again, even though I shared it a little while ago. I'll share Fight It brand. We've got some really good t-shirts actually, and good merch. Mason does work with everybody, but I know that he really tries to channel in on men's mental health, because that's like not as talked about, I suppose. For some reason, men have got this mindset from caveman days, like, I've got to be the man. I can't tell you what I'm feeling. I ain't got feelings because I'm hard. It don't work like that. It takes a real man. Well, what is a real man? But we use that saying. It takes a real man to be able to be in tune with your emotions and talk about how you feel. Everyone's got feelings. Everyone's got a heart. You know, you can't be this old Phil Mitchell, get out of my pub, bloody mentality all the time. You know, because if you don't talk about how you, if you've got an issue, something's upset you, something's annoyed you, something's stressed you out, if you don't talk about it, eventually you're going to burst. I'm telling you, that's what it feels like. You just think, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Build it up, build it up, build it up. And then it's going to come out somehow, but you're just going to burst, whether that be burst out your mouth and have verbal diarrhea with somebody who A, don't deserve it, or, you know, at the wrong person. B, it's going to affect your health for sure, for sure. And I read something the other day that basically said, if you don't decide to rest when your body needs it, then your body will decide for you, which is so true, because if you keep running on empty, how are you going to be able to keep going? It's a bit like the whole, oh, shizer, you know, the whole empty cup thing. How can you pour from an empty cup? So if you are the cup, you have to keep filling it to be able to drink from it, right? Or to let somebody else drink from it. You can't be there for other people or be there for yourself if you don't look after yourself. So it's weird, but I never really got this whole flipping self-love, self-care stuff until I got involved with Mason. You know, like, as I was growing up, you'd always say, oh, he loves himself or she loves herself, you know, because that would be people who were giving it the large one, you know, like with a big ego. Oh, look at me. You'd think, oh, he loves himself or she loves herself. But actually, that's an ego thing. It's got nothing to do with self-love. When you love yourself, you take care of yourself, you know, your mind, your body, your spirit, whatever way you want to look at it. And I ain't gonna lie, even before meeting Mason, I used to be really mean to myself, right? Like, I'm talking probably just physically now, you know, like, I used to say mean things. And even my friends, like the dude or Fiona, you know, like, would say, why would you say that about yourself? And I'm like, this is the truth. But that was just, I know now that was just a mindset, you know, due to either past experiences or past things that have happened or been said. I channeled myself to believe those and think like that. But this is where, when someone said earlier, you're never too old to ask for help, then it's true, because I only met Mason 2 years ago, so I was 37. So even at 37, I've managed to reprogram, if you like, my mindset and how it thinks and how it sees things, you know. And sometimes it takes a third person or someone from the outside to come in and do that for you to realize that actually the way you think and your mindset isn't actually correct. Or not that it's not correct, it's not serving you well. I'm not going to lie. I find this very weird. Like I'm talking to myself. I can see me and Rich in the background, but I'm just here gabbing away. And don't get it twisted. I love talking. Like I love talking. Anybody who knows me would tell you I love talking. I'm rarely left speechless. But talking to yourself, oh, this is a whole new level, man. This is something new for me, and I'm not liking it. I'm still contemplating getting a life-size cut out of Rich. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, back to the topic. Do not try and convince yourself you're okay if you're not. Because, you know, like somebody will say, the worst thing is when it's a catch-22, really. God, my brain's, you know, going off on tangents. This is how it works. If someone says to you, how are you? If you say okay, or the other one is I'm fine, and you're not, then this is, but then on the other hand, if you're not fine or you're not okay, you might not feel comfortable telling that person that's asked. Or actually, do they even want to know? You know, this is the thing. But then on the other hand, you don't have to divulge everything. So if someone says, oh, are you okay? Or how are you? You don't necessarily have to say I'm okay or I'm fine. Just say, not great today, but you know, if then they ask and you want to tell them, speak about it. Sometimes just talking about it makes you feel a whole heap better. And let's not get it twisted. In this world, everybody's got an opinion about everything, right? Oh, my hands up, I'm one of the worst. Love me some opinions. But you don't have to take somebody's advice or opinion. With all the will in the world, you could listen to, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different people's opinions on whatever your issue is. It doesn't necessarily mean to take, put my teeth back in. Doesn't mean to say you're going to, or you have to take their advice. You know, you just at the end of the day have to do what's best for you and what you think is best for you. But I do urge anybody that needs to talk or, you know, is struggling with their mindset, with their thoughts, overthinking, anything. Just, if you don't want to talk to someone, at least go online, listen to a few like self-help videos, if you like, clips. I know that Mason does a lot of workshops. He's got one at the moment. I think it's £27 coming up, and that's on overthinking. Now, if I hadn't worked with him for like 2 years, would I be biting his arm off? 27 quid? Hell yeah. That'd be the best 27 quid I spent. But I have done work with him, and I have worked on my own mindset a lot. So, and don't get it twisted, the old overthinker does come back sometimes, but I've learnt techniques on how to deal with her, flick her off. And let's not get it twisted, but I'm still me. I'm still the same Sophie I was then, but just a better version. So yeah, sign up for some workshops, listen to some videos, YouTube clips, Google people that are life coaches, follow them on social media. You don't have to interact with them like per se face to face or speak to them, but sometimes, like I know Mason puts a lot of information out there, sometimes even that's just helpful. That's sometimes all you need. Well, as predicted, I've been unable to talk on my own for 45 minutes about mindful health. I've spoke about it a little bit. I've shared a bit about me, giving you some advice, hints and tips on the old breathing. Just please remember the breathing, just breathe. That's all I say, just breathe, just breathe. Something flew in front of my camera then. Did you see that? It's a sign. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions or they want to reach out about anything, feel free, drop us a message, comment. I'll put the links to everybody that I've mentioned in the write-up and on our socials. I hope you managed to hear that. Should I play the message again from Rich one more time? Because I feel like I ballsed it up at the beginning, as per usual. Let's play it again. Hold on.
This is Rich from across the pond with Rich and Soph. First, I want to say Happy Mother's Day, Soph. And to the fans out there, if you're a mother out there, Happy Mother's Day. I just want to say thank you for all the support. I'm doing a little better, not 100%, but I'll be back before you know it. So show my co-host, Soph, my partner in crime, some love and support. Everybody have her back. We'll be back together sooner than you know. So this is Rich from across the pond. Yupper.
Oh, bless him. Well, I'm glad you managed to hear the whole message. Again, Mother's Day in the States. So happy Mother's Day again to all the mums across the pond. Next week, please come back. I won't be on my own. I won't be waffling, talking tripe, hopefully. I won't tell you we've got on either because I like it to be a surprise. I don't want to, like spoil it, if you like, before it gets here. So I won't tell you who's coming on, but there will be somebody, not just me with the bubble head. But yeah, it's a bit shorter today because I don't want to waffle on and put you off. I want you to come back. Yeah, so it's Happy Mother's Day from me. Happy Mother's Day from him. You heard it yourself. And I am Soph. He is Rich. And we are across the pond. Yepper.